You are not stuck. Okay? You are not stuck. You are just afraid of what life looks like on the other side of your fear. But what I promise you is that getting out of the position you're in right now and making it to the other side of fear to realize your transformation, that is just the beginning, right? Getting unstuck is the first step. Realizing that you are not stuck, right? You're only incarcerating yourself up here in your mind, and you are holding yourself hostage because of it. Fear is false evidence appearing real. I need you to stop convincing yourself that you are cemented down in this position that you can't move from and that there's not a better life on the other side. Okay? Starting over is not the end, it is just the beginning. And I want to talk to you more about that in this episode today because fear can masquerade as stuckness, right? And you might think, well, I'm lazy because you're unmotivated. You might think, I'm lost in the sauce, right? I don't know another way. I don't know what to exactly do. You might even feel confused in all of the chaos and confusion that's going on in your mind. But you're none of those things. You're not. You're just scared because you are scared to release what's familiar to you. Ask me how I know. Okay. Now, I've never been too scared to move, but you may be. And I work with women like you all the time who are just afraid to move and do a new thing, even though their heart desires it deeply, right? It's all they think about, it's all they fantasize about, it's all they dream of. It's what they really desire, it's what you really want. But society teaches us to stay consistent. We hear that word all the time, right? It's like an overused term at this point. Stay consistent doing what though? Society teaches us to stay consistent even if it means stay consistently miserable. Doing the same mundane thing time and time and time and time again repeatedly over and over and over and over and over again, and then it becomes our life, right? So I know for a fact, look, I stayed at a job for 2 years too long. I have had many jobs, okay, in case you don't know my story, because I was in the corporate arena for 30 long years. And there were a multitude, I had a lot of jobs. I'll just say that, okay? I was a job hopper. Now, there was a job I stayed at 2 years too long because I was afraid of really disappointing people who were already comfortable watching me suffer. Now, I know that's deep. And when I say that, I don't mean they didn't love me and they wanted me to suffer, right? When I'm thinking about my family and my close friends. But it was kind of like Katrina, Kat, Trina is what they call me for short, but you're never happy anyway, right? It doesn't matter how high up the ladder you climb, doesn't matter how much money you make, what position you hold, what credentials you have behind your name. Like it's a honeymoon phase that's short-lived and you're excited in the beginning when you get this new job and then you get in it to win it. And then it's like you give everything to this job and all that you got, and then the honeymoon's over and you're no longer happy. So this had become such a routine for my family and I, right, to do this little do-si-do. Like I'll get in and I'll get excited and woo, yay, rah, rah, rah. And then I'm not happy at some point, right? So I'd move on to the next job and the next job and the next, looking for fulfillment. Not even necessarily job hopping. I had to realize and reframe myself from thinking that way and realize, you know what? I wasn't really job hopping. I was soul searching. And you may be there too right now, right? But then there were others who couldn't wait for my fall. right? There are some people who stand by waiting, wishing, wanting for you to have a downfall. And when you're down, oh, that's when they clap. I knew it. I knew she wasn't all that. Oh, I knew she wasn't going to make it to this level that she thought, like, you know what I mean? Like that kind of attitude. So there are both sides to the story. But what I can say is, I knew inside I wanted more and I was deserving of better. And I was tired of doing this thing long term. Okay. Because there is a cost of staying. Do you know what I'm saying? There is a real cost of staying each and every day that you stay at a job you hate or in the wrong place. You are disconnecting from your right path. I'm going to say that again. I don't want you to miss that important part of this message. Anytime you are staying in the wrong place for too long, okay, you are disconnecting from the right path, your right path. So, because your dreams die every time you gaslight yourself, right? Every time you convince yourself that it's okay, it's not that bad, I can tolerate it. I got a few more years. I've got to stay long enough to get that pension, to get that retirement plan. I want that 401k or 403b or whatever it might be. I got good benefits. I'm making good money. Okay, I can put up with this or that and the third. And this is what you're telling yourself. And that is gaslighting you. Okay, you are gaslighting yourself. And then you believe it at some point, even though you know deep down inside you don't, and that you still want out and you still want more. And you're blocking your blessings every time you do that. Every single time you do that. Your body knows when you are out of alignment. You know why? You start to get headaches. You start to feel stressed, maybe even chronic stress. You might even be getting panic attacks. You start to feel a level of resentment, right? And you might mistake that for burnout. And I do talk a lot about burnout on my channel and the differences between stress and burnout and all of that so that you know the differences. So feel free to check out, my conversations around that. But I'm here to tell you that is not burnout. That is misalignment oftentimes. Okay. When you have a burning, earning desire to want more, to have more, to be more, and then you don't make any move, your body is taking a toll, right? Getting the headaches, the chronic stress, the fatigue, because you're unfulfilled, you're unhappy, and you got a smart brain, right? And if what's in your brain doesn't match, or even I should say what's in your head doesn't match what's in your heart and doesn't match what's in your soul, you're going to feel it. Your body's going to tell you this ain't the business, right? So now, before we go any further, if you're loving these gems I'm dropping, if you're getting what I'm giving and you love these gems I'm dropping, I need you to go ahead and leave a comment below so we can get this discussion popping. I want to know what's hitting home with you so far in this conversation. Am I on point? Am I spot on? Am I pulling on those heartstrings today? Let me know what you're going through right now, where you are in the journey, and what is resonating with you the most today. Okay. Also, if you had an aha moment, let me know that too. Also, if you are loving my content and this video is hitting home for you, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you never miss a single episode whenever I drop new content and or go live. Okay. Now, take a breath. Sometimes we just got to do that. I do a lot of breath work throughout the day, girl. Okay. And especially when I was in those jobs. Okay. I get it. The workforce ain't no joke. It will chip away at your soul if you allow it to, if you're in the wrong place. Right. I feel so deeply about it. In fact, I wrote a whole entire book about it in case you haven't heard. It is titled Live with Your Regrets, Die with Your Dreams, or Choose to Walk in Your Awesomeness. And if you're not walking in the magnitude of your greatness and living a purposeful life, a life that is, you know, fulfilling to you, that feels like freedom to you, if you are not living a passion-filled, purpose-driven life, you may feel like, yeah, I'm alive. On the outside, I appear to be alive, right? My cells are working and all of that, right? I'm moving, I'm grooving, I'm doing, I'm going, but I'm dying inside. Why would you want to choose to live with your regrets? Because that's what it is. It's a choice. It is a choice you are making. I promise you that. And so you are just one choice, one decision away, one changed mind away from living the life that you dream of, desire, and deserve. Okay. Now, I do want to say that starting over isn't a weakness, and that might be how you view it right now. Starting over is not weak, it is strength, it is sacred, it is necessary when you're feeling like what I just described and when your body is talking to you. Listen attentively, do something about it. Okay? Don't make your body beg and plead and scream until you land somewhere you don't want to be, in a hospital bed, or worse yet, an early grave, right? Listen, I ain't here to sugarcoat nothing. I'm here to tell you the facts. This is the truth, okay? You know it, and I know it. So let's just tell the truth and shame the devil, all right? It is what it is. But we don't want that to be what our life ends up. You know what I'm saying? So there is bravery in you choosing without a backup plan. There is. Don't let nobody tell you differently. It takes a certain level of courage for you to do that. Now, I did not quit. Um, I didn't quit because I had a plan. When I quit at the height of my career, when I was in a cushy corporate job, my cushy corporate career, making a six-figure salary, the corner office, the window view, right? The beautiful scenery, some fulfillment, some flexibility and all of that. But the autonomy and all of that, the bonuses and the perks that came with that still was not enough for me. I didn't quit when I had a backup plan, right? And I didn't quit because I had one. I quit because I could not continue to live that way. The way that I was living, the way that I was feeling, the night terrors I was having, right? The body, the things that my body was experiencing, the toxicity that was building up inside of me, the frequent migraine headaches, the debilitating migraine headaches that would take hold of me for 2 to 3 days at a time, 3 to 4 times a month. The musculoskeletal issues, the chronic stress, the panic attacks, the anxiety, the bouts of depression. I could not continue to live that way. Why would I continue to do that to myself? Recognize the signs and then continue to allow myself to live that way. That wasn't living. That was barely surviving. And I wanted to thrive. So why would I do that to myself? You know what I'm saying? Why? You've got to ask yourself those same questions. When I left corporate, I didn't even have a full, well thought out business. I didn't even have a business plan. Okay. I just had a vision and I trusted it. I trusted my gut. I chose faith over fear. And I had a deep why, and I stayed rooted, connected, and grounded in that still to this day, because it's not easy. But I knew that was definitely not easy, right? What I was going through. So, yes, this is hard, But that was harder. This is satisfying. That was not, right? This is freeing and flexible and fulfilling. That was not, that was prison for me. So if you're there right now, and I imagine you are if you're watching this video and listening to the sound of my voice at this point of the video, thanks for sticking around because this is a very crucial message that I need to get out to you and so many more. The door's always open, hun. It always is. The life you want isn't waiting to be discovered. It's waiting to be chosen by you. It is waiting for you to decide. Okay. I want you to realize that the freedom you're craving starts the moment you give yourself permission to walk away. Nobody can really give it to you. I can talk to you until you're purple in the face, right? Until the purple moon comes up. But you have to be the one to make the decision and start making some moves and get into action. And I talk a lot here about radical action, right? Because you're probably already feeling way behind. So the only way to get ahead is to get into radical action. So if this resonated with you, if you are scared, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with being scared as long as, like I said, you choose faith over fear like I did. So if you're scared, but you're ready, I want you to book a freedom and focus clarity call with me. Let's go ahead and, just have the conversation about, excuse me, have the conversation about what your life, excuse me, can look like on the other side. I've been talking a lot, dry throat, and I should have had some water nearby. But I got to say this. We got to figure out what your transformation looks like. What does life look like for you on the other side? What does freedom mean to you? What does success mean for you? How do you define it? What do you envision for yourself? That's what we got to talk about. And then we need to map out a plan, a strategy, and get you to execute on that so that you can stop feeling stuck. Okay? You don't need to feel stuck, still, or stagnant because this is just a moment in time. And you can move this moment by getting into action. So I also want you to know I am offering VIP days. Okay. I offer a limited number per quarter. So that's if you want to work one-on-one with me. I also offer group coaching. So I have group coaching programs, one-on-ones, or if you just need one-off support right now, just to kind of get your mind right and figure out what you need to do next and what the best course of action might be for you, then you need to book a freedom and focus clarity call with me so you can get the clarity you need in order to succeed and get on the right freedom path for you. Okay. So, and let's go ahead and if you are in a job that's making you miserable, let's go ahead and create an exit strategy. We need to devise a plan and build your legacy and create the future that you see feels right and good for you. Okay, now that's my time. I'm going to tune out while you tune in. Be sure to share this video out with at least 3 friends and watch the next video that YouTube recommends. As always, and until next time, I am wholeheartedly in this journey with you. Bye for now.